Hello everyone, very good evening. Welcome to JSS Code. This is Ajay Shah. So let's start the class of 10 MCQs from current affairs. So this is the first question for you. The first question is from Guru Nanak Dev. So the first statement says Guru Nanak was born in Talwandi and founded the Dera Baba Nanak in Kartarpur. This statement is correct. The second says Guru Gobind Singh authenticated the final compilation of Guru Granth Sahib in early 18th century. This statement is also correct. The third says Guru Nanak emphasized the worship of one God. This statement is also correct. All the statement 1, 2 and 3 are correct. So D will be the correct answer here. Now some validation. So Guru Nanak was born in Talwandi but he travelled for years before he founded Dera Baba Nanak in Kartarpur. Irrespective of their caste or creed, his followers ate together in a common kitchen known as Langar. And the sacred place temple that he created for worship and meditation was called Dharmshal, which is now known as Gurudwara. Before he died in 1959, he appointed a successor, that is Guru Angad. And Guru Angad compiled work of Guru Nanak and added to his own script known as Guru Mukhi. Now the next three Gurus also wrote under Nanak's name only. Finally, in 1706, Guru Gobind Singh authenticated the compilation and created the Guru Granth Sahib. Guru Nanak's follower increased in the 16th century as people from all the caste and occupation joined the community. And we can draw the parallel between Guru Nanak and Lord Buddha. Now the Mughal Emperor Jahangir saw them as a potential threat, and in 1686 he ordered the execution of Guru Arjan. By 17th century, Guru Gobind Singh organized the Khalsa movement and the community of Sikh became political organization called Khalsa Panth. That's all. Now question number 2. So excavation by Archaeological Survey of India in Gotiprolu indicates that it is a trade of early historic period. So Gotiprolu lies in which of the following states? Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. So the correct answer is Andhra Pradesh, option number A. So Archaeological Survey of India, they have done an excavation at Gotiprolu in Andhra Pradesh, and they have discovered the remains of huge settlements surrounded by a massive brick enclosure. The site of this Gotiprolu, it lies in the river Swarnamukhi. And among other excavation, we have a large size Vishnu sculpture, and then we have also found a wide variety of pottery in this area. That's all. Now question number 3 is about Suranga Bawadi, which was recently inducted in the World Monument Watch List. So the first statement says Suranga Bawadi is a part of Kara's system of supplying water through subterranean tunnels. This statement is correct. The second statement says Suranga Bawadi was built by Ibrahim Adil Shah II of Bijapur Sultanate. This statement is wrong because Suranga Bawadi was built by Ali Adil Shah I of Bijapur Sultanate. The second says World Monuments Watch is a biennial selection of at-risk cultural heritage sites by UNESCO. So this statement is also wrong because World Monument Watch is a biennial selection of at-risk cultural heritage sites by World Monuments Fund, which is a private non-profit organization. That's all. So we have to choose incorrect statements, so 2 and 3 are incorrect. So option C will be the correct answer here. Now some validation. So Suranga Bawadi is an integral part of ancient Karat system of supplying water through subterranean tunnels built during Adil Shah era in Bijapur or Bijapur, which is now in Karnataka. Now it is all set to get funding for restoration through the Karat system. Though the Karat system was built in 16th century by Adil Shah I, his successor Ibrahim Adil Shah II brought in several changes by adding more structures to strengthen it. Now the monument has been selected under the ancient water system of Deccan Plateau by World Monuments Fund, which monitors restoration of ancient monuments across the globe. Now what is this World Monument Fund? So World Monument Fund is a private non-profit organization founded in 1965 by individuals concerned about the accelerating destruction of important artistic treasures throughout the world. It works in collaboration with local stakeholders, including the district administrations, Archaeological Survey of India, and local explorers of ancient monument in highlighting the need for restoration of ancient monument. That's all. Now question number 4, with reference to, again this question is also on Karat system. We have two statements. The first says it is a water harnessing technology in which groundwater is brought to the surface by a tunnel. This statement is correct. The second says it originated in Iran and was widely used during medieval period. This statement is also correct. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. So C will be the correct answer. This question is self-explanatory. We will move to the next question. This question is also a very factual question. The question says which of the following folk instrument do not belong to membranophone category? Fine. So what will be the correct answer? The correct answer is here option number C, Algoza, because Algoza belongs to the aerophone category, which is a double flute that is popular folk instrument of northwest India, especially Punjab. That's all. Now question number 6, this question is also about Guru Nanak. So the first statement says he was born in Sultanpur Lodi in 1469 AD. This statement is wrong because he was born in a village Talwandi near Lahore, which was later renamed as Nanka Sahib. Sultanpur Lodi is the land where he attended enlightenment and not born. The second statement says he compiled Adi Granth, which later came to be known as Guru Granth Sahib. This statement is also wrong because Adi Granth was compiled by Guru Arjan in 5th century, in which Guru Nanak's composition were also included. The third says he introduced the institution of langar, that is a free community kitchen at Kartarpur. This statement is correct. The fourth says he practiced Nirguna form of bhakti. This statement is also correct. Here 3 and 4 are the correct statement. So D is the correct answer here. Now some validation. So about Guru Nanak Dev Ji, we have already covered some facts about Guru Nanak Dev. Let us see some other facts. So he was born in a village near Talwandi, Lahore, which was renamed later as Nanka Sahib. The room in which he was born constitute the inner sanctum of the Gurudwara Nanka Sahib. He moved to the town of Sultanpur Lodi, the land where Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji attended enlightenment, where he took the job of an accountant in charge of the stores of the local governor. He used the language of masses, that is Punjabi, to preach his ideas. Now his written compositions were included in Adi Granth, compiled by Guru Arjan, the 5th, 6th Guru. This came to be known as Guru Granth Sahib after additions made by the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh. In the last phase of his life, Guru Nanak Dev spent at Kartarpur Sahib. He provided a practical demonstration of building a community based on his strong egalitarian values of cooperative agriculture work and innovative social institutions of langar, that is collective cooking and sharing of food. Apart from this langar, he introduced the idea of Panghat and Sangat. Now Guru Nanak and Sikhism were influenced by the Nirguna, that is formless God tradition of Bhakti movement in the medieval India. That's all. Now question number 7 is consider the following statements regarding Dakshin Bharat Hindi Prachar Sabha, which was in news recently. The first says it was set up in 1919 by Madan Mohan Malviya. This statement is wrong because this was set up in 1919 by Mahatma Gandhi and not Madan Mohan Malviya. The second says its sole aim is to propagate Hindi in the southern states. This statement is correct. The third says Mahatma Gandhi was its first president. This statement is also correct. 2 and 3 are correct. 1 is wrong. We have to choose incorrect statement. So correct answer will be option number A. Now some validation. So Dakshin Bharat Hindi Prachar Sabha was established in the year 1918 by Mahatma Gandhi with the sole aim of propagating Hindi in the southern states. The first pracharak was none other than Devdas Gandhi, the son of Mahatma Gandhi. Now Hindi Prachar was a movement that emerged as a part of freedom movement, and leaders who led the nation to free India felt the necessity of making a single Indian language as the national language, and through that language, the language that unifies the people, and thereby the purpose was to strengthen the national integration. It was declared by the Parliament as an institution of national importance by an act of 1964. Now why this was in news? Because the President of India, Sri Ram Nath Kovind, recently unveiled a statue of Mahatma Gandhi at the Dakshin Bharat Hindi Prachar Sabha in Chennai. That's all. Now question number 8. Question number 8 says, consider the following statement regarding Pushkaram festival. The first says it is a festival of rivers that pertains to 12 important rivers in India. This statement is correct. The second says in 2019 it was celebrated on the river Tamiraparani of Tamil Nadu. This statement is wrong because in 2019 it was celebrated on the river of Brahmaputra river in Assam. So only one is the correct answer here. So A will be the correct answer here. Now in 2000, just for your validation, in 2018 this festival, that is Pushkaran festival, was celebrated in this Tamiraparani river of Tamil Nadu, not in 2019. That's all. We'll move to the question number 9. Now question number 9 is regarding a very controversial and one of the famous movements of Pathalgadi movement. So let us see what is this. So the first statement says the Kon tribe community was associated with this movement. This statement is wrong because the Pathalgadi movement was associated with Munda tribal community. The second says the movement originated in Assam. This statement is correct because Pathalgadi movement was From which state? It was in Jharkhand. The third says tribal raise huge stone plaques at the village outskirts with a warning to the outsiders not to enter during the movement. This statement is correct. So in this question we have to choose incorrect statement, and 3 is the only we have to choose we have to choose incorrect, and 1 and 2 both are incorrect, so correct answer will be option number B. Now some validation. So Pathalgadi movement is a very famous movement. So let us see what is this. So the state government of Jharkhand tried to amend Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act 1908 and Santhal Pargana Tenancy Act 1876. Why this was made? This was made to make easier land acquisition norms, which added to the problem of the tribal community, and in fact it was one of the major reasons of defeat of the former CM of Jharkhand, Raghubar Das. Now, these decisions gave rise to Pathalgadi incidents in the tribal belt, demanding implementation of FRA, that is Forest Right Act, and PESA, that is Panchayat's Extension of Scheduled Areas Act 1996. Now, Pathalgadi having its origin in the resistance movement by tribal during British rule only. It is nothing but it is a practice of raising huge stone plaques at the village outskirts with warning to the outsiders not to enter and declaring the Gram Sabha village as the only sovereign authority. Now, Pathalgadi movement has been associated with Munda tribal community. They had started Pathalgadi by engraving these PESA's provisions in all the villages of Jharkhand to increase awareness among the tribal people about their rights. In Munda tribal custom, placement of a huge stone marks the death of a person. So Pathalgadi movement draws on this tradition of honoring the community's ancestors. That's all. Now this is the last question. Which of the following statements are correct with regard to Kodwa community? So the first statement says they are land owning agriculturists with martial customs. This statement is correct. The second says the Kodwas are considered as patrilineal ethno-lingual tribe of Kerala. So this statement is wrong, because the Kodwas are considered as a patrilineal ethno-lingual tribe, but the region is not Kerala, but the region is Karnataka. The third says Kodwas are the only people in India permitted to carry firearms without a license. So this appears to be a little strange, but this is also correct. 1 and 3 both are correct. Fine. So some validation. So why this was the news? Because the center has decided to continue the British era rule of exempting the Kodwas of Kurg, a well-known martial community in Karnataka, from obtaining license for the firearms such as pistols, revolvers and double-barrel shotguns. So this looks very strange, but we all know that India is a land of diversity, and this is also an exception in the land of diversity, which is known for unity and diversity. Now the Kodwas worship weapons during the Kalipod festival, and the decision has been taken considering the cultural and religious sensitivities of the community that belongs to the Kurg region of the state. The exemption has been given for the tenure of 10 years, that is till 2029. So that's all for today. I hope you like the class. Please like and subscribe our channel for more such videos. Thank you very much.